I'm not going to go through every slide. I do want to go through a few slides and then jump on a few demos. The slides are available to download from SlideShare. So one of the key things to reiterate on the business apps and business process world in Office 365, how it's changing. So you can see us push as a key way in Office 365 to build and author your business process in it. And, List has a tremendous opportunity to hold lots and lots of content and metadata and whatnot, and also having indexing automatically available for certain columns. So it's very powerful. So I know many of you are already using it. So how do you take that to the next level? Well, we got several other services in Office 365 to integrate and basically build the automation, build the no-code apps that some of the business users want to customize the list forms, or even just build an app and distribute it for first-line workers, for example. And we have other areas in Azure as well, the cognitive services and Microsoft Graph, everything starting to now coming together in one big product to go and do the things you want to do. We started this, I think, 2 years ago. It was all like bits and pieces, but as you can see, we have made some tremendous progress to bring everything together in SharePoint List and Libraries. So just making sure that we're still focusing, and List and Libraries are still a primary thing for organizations to go build business apps on top of SharePoint. So this is one of the key slides. As Wes said, SharePoint development is a lot. There's a lot of things going on, but we actually cater to a lot of audience if you actually look at the bigger picture, right? So if you're a pro dev, you can start to use the platform and extend and write code to extend the platform to your needs. So we have tremendous opportunities through Graph, through Microsoft SharePoint Framework, Azure AI, so whatnot, right? So we got those opportunities for pro devs to go build the next best, the big thing that you want to build on the platform. However, that same platform is also a great boon for the product team, because now we can use the same technology, backend technologies that even these pro devs use to build the no-code solutions, the no-code, low-code solutions on top of that. And you can see us doing a lot of stuff with conditional formatting, flows, PowerApps, everything behind the scenes. You may not know that they're using Graph, but they actually use Graph to deliver those in a much easier way to these business users, so they can build these modern apps really fast. And finally, it really benefits the authors, right? So the people that go to a page, add web parts, create lists and libraries, and within few clicks, they want to just do everything they want to get. So the spectrum comes from pro devs to the authors. So you can see us making some decisions where you do need to write code, and then you'll see us slowly going to a low code solution. Like view formatting is a very good example. Right? If you want to do something in SPFX, we got the field customizer. If you don't want to go through the SPFX but go to the UX and do something, we got the the ability to update JSON and put your stuff into it. Now you can see a demo where we are extending that a capability where not just makers but also authors can quickly format the list. So this is something to keep in mind, that we are always working in this three spectrum, and we'll go from one to end as the scenarios and needs grow. So List, everybody knows List. I'm not going to talk about this, but I do want to highlight one thing. We showed demo where Lists are now available in Teams. We're going to keep improving the experience here. You're going to see us Lists being pushed on top of Office 365, especially in Teams, where you can just go create a new list and then start working on it. And as we integrate Flow and custom forms and other coming along the year as well. So it's going to be a tremendous opportunity for us to invest more and how we collaborate with respect to having lists in different areas in Office 365, especially starting with Teams. Conditional formatting, I'll show a demo. It's very, very cool. I really love it. Gone are the days that JSON is the only way to do things. We are pumping up, development resources to help us build these sort of out-of-the-box experiences. So more and more users are able to do this. And you don't have to depend on JSON unless there's something that we don't yet have in the UX. So there's a lot of stuff we are working in List. We got several good feedback around, hey, I just want to do some simple things like show height and reorder columns in list forms. But I don't want to go to PowerApps, but I just want to do those things. When I really want to go to PowerApps, I would go there. So we're trying to explore that and see how far we can go with those things. Image field, picture field is not something we really love in SharePoint, right? So we want to have a native image field that you can just say, click add image, and then you upload an image, and it behaves like an image. And then URL field, how many of you are frustrated with the 255 character limit, right? So we want to go fix those. So we're working on some new fields. Modern quick edit. You saw the demo in the keynote in SharePoint Conference. If you haven't, have a look at the keynote. The rule builder UI, so that's the conditional formatting UI that applies to both columns and rows. And also we're working on other views like tile-based and card-based views. So we can have that support natively in list and library. So exciting things. List and libraries are the key core entities for us when we start about thinking about business apps. So I'm really, really happy to see all of these updates coming through. Workflow, I'm going to skip all of this. We all know about all of the other things, but some of the key things here. So Flow just released Modern Approvals V2. So you could see it's actually rolling out. It will be with V2 at the end of the action name. There's some updated schema that helps you to get responses and approvers and all the other details much nicer, and has all of the details. If you, for example, send an approval to 3 people, how do you capture what the first person replied, what the second? So we have some updated schema that will help you to grab all of those information. And that's the start and wait for approval. But we got several feedback around, hey, I just want to start an approval and then do several things before I actually wait for the approval. So that's where the approval is divided into 2 things. One is create an approval that basically registers in the system to say, hey, there is an approval now ready. And with that, now you can basically say, don't send an email notification, but here is a thing that you can send to Teams, and let this approval be managed in Teams. And once you said that, and then you wait for an approval, right? So you can say, here's my approval. I'm going to wait for my approval in the flow so that I know that I have to respond to this approval when I do have somebody approving or rejecting it. The idea is also here that the approval should be cancelable, but we're still working on those ideas. But basically now, since you have a separate approval, you can basically wait and cancel. So we have more opportunities there. We also have the ability to craft your own response buttons. So if you don't like approve, reject, you can say yes, no, need more info, and or put how much ever options you want. So it's pretty cool updates to modern approvals. New connectors, we have Teams and Word. Teams connector is really cool. I'll show you a demo where you can post messages as an adaptive card to a Flow user or to Teams user or to Teams channel using the Flow bot. And Word connector, there are lots of good stuff coming up. If you want to create a document based on properties and put metadata into it in your Flow, so you can do that with the populated Word template from Flow. And then there's also the ability to convert Word documents to PDF. So really cool updates. I don't think I'm going to show a demo on Word connector this week, but the next call I can go deeper into that. So what we're working on flows this year, which means that these will be shipping before Ignite or during the end of this year. So check-in, check-out, discard, checkout, create a folder, heaps of requests on this in the user voice, in the Flow user voice. So we are looking into those. Access management, grant access. So you want to set permissions. We're going to work on those actions. Again, highly requested action for flows. Visio integration, I did demo Visio a few months back, so that's getting geared for release. So if you haven't done that, go have a look at that video call. If you go to my blog, I think I have a blog there as well, the same PNP call. And then working hard on GCC support. So end of June, we're hoping to have starting the rollout for GCC low and moderate, the SharePoint integration pieces, meaning that you can say use request, sign off, and page approvals and all those stuff. The connector is live in the GCC low and moderate. So if you go to flow.us, go to Microsoft.us or PowerApps or Microsoft.us, you should be able to connect the SharePoint data and get everything integrated from the service side. And then we'll start working on the GCC High, which is slated at the end of the year. So I'm going to skip this video, and I'm going to go quickly to the PowerApps, what's coming. So delegation for complex types, choice, lookup, person. So today you can't filter by choice field, by lookup field, by person field. Those are the 3 fields we are working. It's almost ready. So we'll be shipping that soon. These are all you can consider in the next 3 months when you say, some of the things here. And custom forms, support for doc libs. So you can now customize forms or document libraries and use them as you would use custom forms in list. Guest access support for custom forms is also coming. You're testing internally, so happy to see that. That is also something that will come in the next 3 months. And same for GCC environments. There's a lot of stuff here that you don't see because I have put those in a different category in the top of mind, which is we are working on this. We don't know when they would come. They would be ready as they are ready. We haven't put them in the roadmap, but happy to communicate that we are working on these things. So package and reuse starts from list. So if you go from list wizard, you should be able to say, I'm going to create a new list from an existing list. And basically that will pull the flows and custom forms if you own those flows and custom forms in that list to the new list. So it helps to map scenarios like I'm a maker, I go to an organization, I want to build this app, I create my own dev site, I will build the custom forms and flows there. And then I basically want to now push this to the prod side. So I'll use list wizard from an existing list, choose that list from the dev side and push it to prod side. Later next year, this will move to getting integrated into site scripts and site designs, so you can move from one tenant to another. The key pieces, the challenging pieces here is to ensure how we track the identity and how we use that identity across flows and custom forms. More granular flow triggers for lists. We hear that a lot more now, and it's one of the top requested user-wise items in Flow Ideas Forum. So we are working with the platform team. So basically, my team now is integrated with Vesa team, Vesa's DevPlat, and every other team. So we get some great opportunity to work together on this. And also working on site design applied triggers, so you don't have to use a HTTP trigger call from site designs. So these are all some great stuff that we're working. We just don't have the timeline. We'll push it as we get closer in the next few months, or at Ignite, you'll have a better picture of these things. So I'm going to end this and go to some demos. So the first demo I want to show you guys is the ability to, right? So every time we use JSON, so here's the list. Now, so review date, for example, when we ship, we are going to have some options here. So now if you go to format this column, you're going to get a new UX, and you can see there's already a template available. I can edit this template, and I get few options. If the review date is before today, is today, and after today. Voila. And like within seconds, I actually got everything here. So I can apply this. And then if you have a number field, I get some data bar option as well. Look at that. It was pretty simple. So I can just say maximum values 360. And then for positive values, I can say I need green. And if you have negative values, you can configure that. But now I get a bar pretty easily done in a few seconds. So this is great. What about rows? So I can go to now all items, format current view, and I actually have a new option called list styling. Now I can go click that, and I have more options. I can give borders. I can also say the text color is green. I can also say the fill color is blue. I can say the border color is orange, and font, I want 21. That's really bad. Let's not have 21. Let's say 15. So within a few clicks as a user, now I'm able to customize the formatting in list for columns and views. So this is one of my favorite announcements in SPC 19. This is going to be rolling out soon. It's not yet there, but this is a pretty exciting feature. More updates are going to come for more column types and more formatting options here. So let's say here in this list, if you see, if I edit the item, you can see that it's using a custom form and a customized list, which is nothing new, but you can see that I can't edit my project effort. I need to actually request for an effort and increase, right? So this is the great example of how you can use custom forms that goes beyond the limits of things in list forms, because now you are they have to go through a request process. So now if I go to the flow here, and then you can see I have request effort increase. So I click that, I'm gonna get here a flow. What this is going to go do is it's going to ask me what's the effort increase that you want to do. I'm going to say 10 project requirements changed, and I'm going to run flow. So this is going to basically go to the owner of the project, which here is Pradeep Gupta, and send a Teams message for him to approve, reject. So let's go see. Here's Pradeep Gupta. And in his Teams, he should soon get, there you go, he got this right now. So you can see the same approvals, which usually went to emails before. Now, I don't get any email, but I actually get everything done in Teams. So now I can basically say here, approve, submit, and if I go back to Nestor, when this is done, 45 should change to 55. There you go, it's 55. And what it does is it goes to the research projects channel in Teams and also post a message saying that, hey, Nestor, your request is now approved by the owner, right, Pradeep Gupta. So this is really cool. No emails. Everything in Teams works in mobile, works in web, works in all of the apps across all platforms. This is really powerful scenario. If you're looking to targeting, how to bring everything into Teams. So if you look at the flow, it's really simple. For a selected item, now I use a new approval, create an approval, and in the advanced option, I say don't enable notifications. And then for each approver, I use a new action called post your own adaptive card as a flow bot to a user. This goes and targets a user in Teams. And recipient is for each approver, right? And then one of the cool things with this create an approval action is that you get the adaptive card that actually knows how to interact with the flow bot in your Teams. So as long as you've added the flow bot, now if you send this adaptive card, you get that adaptive card, which is here. And now the Flowbot knows how to handle approve, reject, and all of those stuff, right? So that's it. Adaptive card, you give that, and boom, you're done. And then you say wait for an approval. So now you're saying waiting for an approval. What is the approval here? Basically, the approval that we created before in that action. And that's it. The rest of the steps are exactly the same. At the end of the approval, you actually say post a message to the channel instead of to a user. And here I can construct my message, whatever I want to do. And if it's declined, I send a message to the user who requested this approval. Pretty simple, right? So that was my demo. There's another demo that I probably would show in the next PNP call, but I do want to show this thing, which is the delegation, right? Everybody wants this. I was not able to show this in SPC 19. This is, again, coming soon. But you can see here, I'm actually selecting a choice field in SharePoint, and it's actually refreshing my gallery of list items with the choice field. I can also say person field. I want from admin. I want from user. So there's nothing in user. If I go flow, I'm going to get something back. If I have something in user, if I do all, I'm going to get everything. And also a lookup field here, which is using gallery. It's really simple and same as any other query that you would use. I'm saying if it's just doing some expression check, if it's all, I'm going to say filter feature backlog, which is my data source, product area dot value, which is the choice column, right? To the drop down in here is my app, and then backlog, which is again another field, which I think is a lookup field here. I'm going to do selected.value. And if it's a person field, I'm saying contact.email to whatever that value. So no more squigglies once this rolls out. or choice, look up that person. It's pretty simple. And now everything goes delegated to the SharePoint server. It brings just those records back. And then finally here I have my check-in, check-out actions, which is still again it's not rolled out. So good thing here is we get to use these and dog food these and make sure that they're all good. The bad thing is, releasing features takes time. So we're taking to ensure that these things get the appropriate testing and validation done. So it would take another few weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, to actually have these things rolled out. So check in a file, same as any other thing. You have ID, you can make comments, and you can publish as major, minor, or overwrite the file. Checkout, really simple. Address of the site, library, and the ID that you want to check out. And then discard checkout, you can just say the same thing as ID. So I breezed through these demos, but I think, Reza, you'll be recording this and making it available on YouTube. So
yes. And anyway, we'll cover more and more.
It is very, very important. Yeah. One thing I need to say is that these are coming, not released yet, but once they come, you can certainly see us tweeting and documenting in every place that we want to go and share this. Thanks, Reza.
Thank you. Thanks, Chaks.